Hey, everybody. Listen to me peek the fucking mic out. Sorry about that. What the fuck was that? Why the hell?
Oh, God, my ears.
Well, I mean, I don't know. The thing just went like bright red like a fucking candy apple. That was crazy. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Comic Book Curation. I'm Polly, and I'm a little rusty because it's been a while since we've been live. But, like always, joining me is Inquisitor 8.1 Quiz. How are you doing? It's been a minute.
Well, not too long. I mean, we were on my channel last week, but
Which confused
yeah,
people.
It did. But overall, I'm okay.
Good. And rounding out our triumvirate of awesome, still, is Jack from Bad Comic Reviews. Jack, how the hell are you?
Oh, not too bad. How about yourself?
Oh, you know, another round of COVID restrictions and such and the like. You know how it is.
Oh, yeah. I hear you.
I almost thought you were going to say Coke at first. Another round of Coke. I'm like, Polly, we talked about this. We had an intervention.
Interventions are for quitters.
We've been over this. Bumps and chipping is not addiction.
He's just a party boy, and you don't understand him, Quiz.
I can quit anytime I want, I swear.
Yeah. All the cool kids are doing it. You leave him be.
Well, we have a hell of a show. We're not quite at episode 100, and I'll tell you why. How many episodes have we done between 99 and not 100? Like 3 or 4?
Who's counting?
Yeah, well, it's been a number of them. This is episode 99 and a bit, as you can see from the title. Because I just don't feel that we're quite there yet. And it's been like well more than a month since we did a comic book curation. And I wanted to do one more before we come back to do like the big celebratory episode 100. Because, you know how it is. The bumps and humps. That was college. Yeah, I hear you, cynical Lindsay. Anyway, that's too much information. But we got a fuck ton of articles because so much has been going on. Sadly, it's not wildly different from what was going on before. The state of the world is still pretty much the same. Comic book industry is going down the drain, swirling. And everybody who works in the comic book industry is still pretending that they made all the right decisions over the past 5 years. It's totally not their fault. Anything that's gone wrong is to blame either on Donald Trump or COVID. And since COVID is to blame on Donald Trump, they can just blame everything on Donald Trump. Haven't you been reading Twitter?
I try not to.
Yeah.
Orange Man is very bad, I hear.
And thank you for everybody for showing up. I know it's been a long time, but X-Bub Hotep's here, and Jack's here, of course, and Johnny Hillcat, and Six is here. Hey, Six, how's it going? I saw your DM. I will get back to that in a second. TOS is here, and Cameron's here, and Angela's here. Number one nowhere. Oh, fuck everybody. You guys are awesome. We disappeared for so long, and you still show up when we pop up in your recommends. Hey, Camel's here. Brad Young, and Jacob Jett. The guy who came very close to being correct in his prediction that we wouldn't be able to hold on to comic book curation, but fuck him, we're going to get all the way to episode 100.
Oh, yes.
Just he can call me Petty Dub all he wants. I'll never forget that moment. And Ebony Williams is here. Hello, Ebony. How are you? And of all potato, rounding out the final member of chat that makes it feel like we've come back home. Great. Let me share the screen with you guys. I tried to get 2 or 3 of my friends together and say, you guys want to buy me a new potato? And they're like, what's that? I'm like, oh yeah, you don't follow me online. It's a new computer that can actually handle, that actually has a video card. I'd like to start there. And they're like, fuck no, we're not buying you a new computer. I'm like, but they're really cheap. You can just buy components. And yeah, no one bought it. It was kind of sad.
They're dicks.
I know. Cheapskates.
Friends don't let friends spend all of their money on Polydub's new computer.
Let's see. Where's the one that I wanted to start with? Oh, I know. Let's start off where every good show should. With alienating its audience.
Oh.
Where is anime's autistic representation? In the fandom.
Yeah,
Yeah. Nailed it on the first try.
Are they kidding?
No, that's My line. Sorry, anime fans. I couldn't resist. I mean, come on. Like, they actually, where's anime's autistic representation? It's like, haven't you ever been to an anime con or seen pictures of it? I mean, it answers itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, and as someone who used to go to the cons, I can tell you with absolute certainty, yes, you are 100% correct in your assumption.
Right? But first, we have an important thing we have to resolve here. First, it was Shady Grin's birthday the other day, so happy birthday, Shady.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
actually. It was pretty sweet too. You popped into Discord, and so I was able to shoot out a happy birthday on Twitter, and a whole bunch of people responded because Shady's a well-liked guy, because Shady's cool. And so, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I certainly hope he had a happy birthday. Good reminder, Jack. I had forgotten about that because it was like 2 days ago.
Also, second thing is Evolved asked us an important question. He's starting a Cyberpunk campaign and isn't sure about Life Path. How do you feel about Nomad, Street Kid, or Corpo?
Okay. I turned the subtitles off. You're going to need to translate all that for me.
Those are like the character classes.
Oh. Which one has the adjustable genitals?
I think they all do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then the world's your oyster, my friend.
Yeah, go Corpo, go wage slave, my man. I mean, if your life isn't already soul crushingly enough, you can simulate it in the video game.
Oh, that was a dark interpretation.
That's my mentality lately, my man.
Well, you know what's funny is Ebony Williams says funny joke, but screw you. Well, no, I get it. And it was a joke. It was intended as a joke. I watch a little bit of the anime myself. As a matter of fact, I found out I was over on the AAA stream, and they were talking about Cyberpunk 2077 because, like, yeah.
Everyone is.
Yeah, you know, who the fuck isn't, right? I asked one of my IRL friends, I'm like, so are you getting on the Cyberpunk 2077 hype train? He said, no, but I pretty much have to buy it because I won't know what the fuck anyone's talking about for the next 2 months if I don't. And I'm like, well, yeah, fair enough. But I typed in chat, and it didn't get a very warm reaction. Yeah, I'm going to go watch Blade Runner, enjoy some actual Cyberpunk. And, woo, it just, no one thought that was funny. But somebody came back and said, go check out, I opened up a tab, but I've already closed it. I saved it in my favorites. Bubblegum, help me out. What? Bubblegum Crisis. Yeah.
Yes.
Never heard of it before. Nice recommend. Looks cool.
Cyberpunk is fuck.
Yeah. So I'm definitely going to check that out because I won't be playing Cyberpunk 2077 because I'm a game noob. And
you have a potato.
Yeah, if I tried loading that onto my computer, it'd scream and die and ask why as it was letting out a puff of smoke. So yeah, at least I've got a new anime to watch, so I can join the autism crowd. But let's find out, where is anime's autistic representation? I mean, they actually want autistic characters, I'm assuming. Diversity and representation are important in storytelling and popular media, but now more than ever, many once ignored groups and identities have begun to enjoy meaningful and substantial representation in comics, movies, television programs, anime, and video games, and none of it seems forced at all.
Yeah, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's all completely natural.
One group that still needs more representation in the media, however, is the autism community.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
It writes itself.
Dude, yeah, there's plenty of people that know about the aughts.
Well, yeah, it's like, haven't you been on Twitter?
Yeah, yeah.
They're represented like every time you turn around. What do you mean?
Yeah, there's tons of people that'll sit there and self-diagnose. I have the aughts.
Woo. You can choose between cut and uncut dicks. Well, potatoes.
Yes,
It's Cyberpunk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I gathered that much, but oh, hey, Becca Furley's here. Hey, Becca. If you guys don't check out Becca Furley's stream, Furley Just Becca, you should. Sub to her. She's awesome.
I actually saw somebody post that you could only have C-cup boobs if you had like a dong, and I don't know if they were joking or not.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. If you have a dong, you can only have at max C-cup boobs.
Yeah, but I mean, were they joking that they're upset about it, or was that serious?
Oh,
because I can't tell anymore.
I have no idea. But I do know that's a real thing. Yes. If you are a futa, you can only have, at best, C cups.
I think that's going to enrage the same people that feel unrepresented by these animes that don't portray enough autists or whatever. This is fucking dumb on both fronts. Both these conversations are stupid.
Well, you know what?
Yes.
I'll tell you something. Carrie says in chat, I'm autistic and I don't like these idiots anywhere near me. You know what? Autistic, of course, has taken on an entirely new meaning online because people that are just socially maladjusted, don't know how to talk to other people, have never bothered to extend themselves to understand general politeness, get described as autistic, insulting people that are actually in a position of being much more socially adjusted than they are. Think about that one for a second. Let that bake your noodle.
For the non-indoctrinated, futa is Japanese hentai and live action even term for people that have boobies and a penis.
It literally the term is futanari. And
that's the technical term.
It literally means dick girl.
Yeah, that's the medical term. Futa is the shorthand sexy version that people use when talking about it, from what I've seen. The Japanese are an interesting culture, but I thought we should probably explain what that term meant.
And as Inquisitor made clear, oh God, it was well over a year ago at this point, and I generally agree with his determination on this matter. Is it gay for a straight man to watch futa porn? Well, it depends. As Quiz explained, if it's, hold on. Futa, yes, it's gay. If it's futa girl, it's not gay.
Yeah. Futa on female is perfectly fine.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
to quote Fatty 057, and I'm out.
Thank you very much. Next 6 minutes. Yes. One group that needs to be the center of attention is the group of people that has major issues being the center of attention. Oh, man. That, at the moment, unfortunately, would be people at the center of attention that don't need the center of attention, would be trans people, but high-profile non-binary and trans people. Looking at you, Elliot. You want a good laugh if you're handy with Google and you know how to do the more advanced search terms. Look for the prevalence of the search term of trans or BIPOC or POC over the past number of years. Extend the search scale to like 7 years and then apply it to Twitter. All the people that spend all day long defending the trans community as if it's like the fight of their lives and the hill they're going to die on, they never mentioned it more than 2 years ago. Literally never used the words. It's almost like it's a cause célèbre or something. And the trans people that I personally know are don't see Elliot Page as their hero.
Yeah. I don't think very many people see Elliot Page as a hero.
Well, it depends. Is she going to be in an anime? Or he going to be in an anime soon?
Does she have autism?
I don't know. But she got a giant forehead to headbutt autistic people, and I just assume she does. Whatever. I can't fucking get this right. I'm too old for this shit.
Okay, you know what? I just refreshed the page that I had my Streamlabs up on, and I attributed that donation to the next 6 minutes. It was actually from Johnny Hellcat, but it did say for the next 6 minutes, because that was the last person who would hit me up with a donation. Sorry about that, Johnny Hellcat, but thank you for the donation. Now I'm going to be worried that I'm attributing things all over the place to the wrong people. Fucking hell.
I know. I've been doing it all day. Welcome aboard.
Have you actually? That's not just me?
No, this Elliot Page person, I've been calling Ellen and misattributing a giant bonky forehead to both of them. Oh, wait, that part's true.
Assassin.
God damn it, Jack. And you know what? But this is how long we've been off from doing comic book curation. Yes, things have been steadily getting worse, but I've seen on YouTube in terms of service and other things like that. But I have been noticing it more and more, absorbing, other creators' content, especially large channels, unlike my microscopic one. And small channels are getting wiped out for misnaming people, for dead naming people, for using incorrect pronouns, for mentioning certain countries' elections that may have not gone particularly in the legal way that some think they should have. Enough said. I mean, fuck me, man.
Well, it's stuff that's difficult to like the whole gendering thing. That's difficult when this is a celebrity, and you've been talking about them in a specific way for a decade at least.
Yeah. Thank you, Manic, for the $10 and no statement. Well, what more needs to be said than Manic is awesome. Thank you for sticking around, by the way. It's great to see everyone come back. And Duck Dog is back, and Nicholas DeLay, and just Pair to Bears here, and just it's awesome to see everybody. And Assassin of the Grey too. Fuck, everyone's great.
Assassin of the Grey brings up a really good point though about Goku in Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he behaves like he has autism. Straight up. If you actually watch the show and like think about it in terms of people who have autism and how they act, yeah, Goku has the aughts.
Is this a complimentary image of a person with autism?
I don't know.
Oh my god, that's terrifying.
Because he's the hero of the story, and he has total retard strength.
See, those are the kind of words that are going to end my channel quiz. I'm worried about dropping F-bombs and you're calling people retards.
I didn't call anyone specifically a retard.
He meant he's mildly fireproof.
There you go. He's fireproof.
Oh, Matt Winters showed up. Oh, well, too bad you can't stay, but I'm glad you did pop by, and thank you for saying hello. Yeah, I mean, anyone who dresses like this is clearly somewhere on the spectrum.
Hey, Manic, thank you for the donation. That's very generous.
Of course, I'm just kidding. I know My Hero Academia is deeply beloved by lots of people, even though a blunderbuss pistol makes no sense whatsoever. It's fine.
You know, Evolved Potato brings up L from Death Note. Absolutely autistic. Yes, he was.
Thank you very much, Alpha Omega. There's another person who came back around with a very generous $20 donation. Greatly appreciated. This is for your new potato. I hope to still be alive someday when it happens, smiley face. Yeah, me too. Me too. Watch, I'm going to cash the coof and it'll all be over with, and everyone, bury my new laptop.
You were a downer today.
Well, I'm just saying, YouTube has gone strange places. Am I the only one that's noticed this?
No. The big announcement is you can't talk about a certain event that happened on the first Tuesday of last month in a disputatory way. So that's a big Yeet Your Channel event. So that was a big deal. I think that's a landmark shift in their mentality. So you're absolutely right to be a little nervous. I don't know, man. I have no idea what they're doing or why they're doing it, but I'm hoping that BitChute will release their streaming service soon.
Yeah, no shit. Agreed. And I hope Odyssey turns out to be as good as people are saying it is. I have no personal experience with it other than just going there and checking out the interface and stuff. But a lot of content creators I like have set up accounts over there. So I am all for anything that dismantles YouTube's monopoly, because it's not that I don't like YouTube. YouTube as a service is great. YouTube and its terms of service and how they're unequally applied are awful. And anything that's a monopoly is by definition awful. So
yeah, they get stagnant. Rumble's interface has been good, but they don't do streaming. I've had good luck, not with views or subscribers over there, but with uploading. It's very simple. I just wish they had streaming.
And in case everybody didn't pick up on it, because I certainly did, the evidence just went by that Quiz likes to pick on me. I think it's because he's bitter. How do we know? Because Jack just said disputatory, and Quiz didn't come in and mock him.
There's no mocking Jack.
You see what I mean? Oh, yeah. I go after every little thing that Polly says. But
Polly, you have shame. Jack has none.
I was waiting to get called on that, too.
No, I heard it. I'm like, no, I'm going to let Quiz do this because, oh, yeah, right. Quiz is a partisan son of a bitch that just likes to fuck with me. That's why he's not going to say anything disputatory.
Oh, real quick over in the Streamlabs. Thank you, Manic, for $10 and no response, no message. We love Manic and her Australian fun bucks.
What? Her Australian fun box?
Fun bucks.
Fun
I
bucks.
thought he said.
Fun box. Oh.
Fun bucks. Yes.
I
It sounded like
I thought you were
did
making
say
a
fun
very
box.
lewd comment towards her, and I was like, yo,
Right?
man. It's like, sure like to explore your foxhole.
I mean, you know,
Like,
if she wants me to make lewd comments, it costs way more than $10. Come
well,
on.
I'll do it for half price.
You know, I got okay. So, you know, everybody knows OnlyFans has popped off pretty big, right? And I used to get these DMs from different people online asking, it's like, oh, you know, can you record me a good night message and things like that? I really like your voice. I find it soothing and sexy, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I don't really feel that's appropriate. I'm flattered and so forth. Different people have come back and said, can you set up an ASMR OnlyFans? I'm like, no, I'm not a whore.
Your voice.
As a whore, I've considered it, but not for that purpose. I'll just do like comic book reviews for money. But thank you, Anita Dump, for your donation. It's about goddamn time Google starts a wood chipper.
See, I'm just looking at chat. Alpha Omega heard box, Jacob heard box. See?
I did not say box.
It did sound like you said box.
I'm just saying, Maddox a lady, you just
I said Bucks, BUCKS.
Okay, look. This story reminded me of a long-standing thing that we've got going on here on Comic Book Curation between Quiz and myself. And MCU Theory Spider-Man 3 will adapt one of Spider-Man's most controversial stories. This being, of course, One More Day. Yes.
Fuck that comic book.
This reminded me, there's been a lot of debates that have started but have never actually occurred between Quiz and myself over whether or not One More Day is in fact a good storyline. The answer is it is, and Quiz is just obstinate. But
no, it's a terrible.
We've got to do this as a separate video and get Jack to moderate.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll end well.
Well, I'm just saying. I think One More Day. Well, yeah, we're going to see how good of a moderator Jack is. It's like, all right, Paulie's done making his retarded point. Quiz, tell him why he's wrong. Like that. I will question your impartiality, and we'll have a alternate standing by just in case. And then once we've done that video of a debate over whether One More Day is in fact a greatly misunderstood storyline, and people need to leave J. Michael Straczynski alone because he's awesome. People harassed him so hard over that he ended up apologizing for writing a story that he didn't have any reason to.
I blame the editor and Joe Quesadilla. I blame him the most.
Yeah.
But that does not absolve that comic book of its sin, because it is a terrible comic book.
I disagree. I think it is a magnificent work of writing in the face of editorial adversity.
No.
Yeah, it's poorly understood. It's misunderstood. And then once that's done, Jack and I will finally be able to have it out, and Quiz can moderate as to whether or not Jack will ever understand that Neelix is a space leopard.
I fully understand that he is posing as a space leopard while he is a space sea monkey.
Yes, and we will have that out in all of its detail. But
see, that's the thing is I feel for that debate. I kind of want to reach out to Rich Evans and Mike Staklasa. We're talking like
agree with me.
Massive difference in channel size here. We got 1,000 subscriber Polydub versus the 1,000,000 subscriber Red Letter Media. But all I'm saying is that there's precedent there for Sea Monkey, my man.
Right? I've been saying it since the 90s,
because
man.
Rich Evans said so. That don't prove shit. I mean, like, okay, a guy from Wisconsin said so. Yeah, and
hey, man, they're able to pull in millions of subscribers. That's
called an appeal.
For the views,
that's
Paulie.
called
Just
an
go
appeal
with
to
it.
popularity, and it's a logically fallacious argument.
It's an appeal to more subscribers for your channel.
Exactly.
Which That's all I need. The fucking Red Letter Media fans coming down on me, because have you read the comments under any Red Letter Media video? Fucking Rich Evans has got his own virtual cult running, man. People love him. Yeah, I'm not going to. Don't listen to that guy. What the fuck does he know? I mean, I love Rich Evans as much as the next guy, but yeah. And speaking of Spider-Man, yeah, official Sony video implies Maguire Garfield will be in Spider-Man 3.
Why? What? How can there be 3 Peter Parkers?
Multiverse?
Remember that
dumb.
No, the Doctor Strange movie is the Multiverse of Madness. So they're doing a big crossover, and Spider-Man might be part of that movie.
Yeah.
So this might be spinning directly out of that as a tie-in, so you have to see the other one. See, it's brilliant.
That's dumb, and that's a bad idea.
Well, that's neither here nor there. This is modern Marvel we're talking about. That's also giving us live-action Kamala Khan. So.
Yeah.
Irving M. Spider-Man. It was good. I like that one.
Yeah, I mean, the multiverse will be there, but I mean, everybody has had this debate before, who's the best Peter Parker, and being a super, super long time fan of Spider-Man since I was a little wee Polly, I can tell you objectively that Tobey Maguire sucks dick. Okay. Tom Holland does the best job acting out the role of a young Peter Parker, like demeanor, disposition, etc. And Andrew Garfield looks the most like Peter Parker. He physically fits the bill the best. Now, I mean, I know that's no kind of satisfactory answer because it's kind of like splitting them, but we can say objectively that Tobey Maguire sucks.
But Tobey Maguire was in the best Spider-Man movies. Even 3 is better than all of the others.
I'm just going to wager here. You haven't seen all the Spider-Man movies, have you?
I've not seen
How did I know?
I haven't seen the new one. I refuse to. It's
quiz judging movies he hasn't seen. What a shock.
I have seen the trailer, and that's enough.
Yeah, well, hopefully if they're going full multiverse, we'll get some Spider-Man Noir, which is my favorite iteration of Spider-Man in a long time.
Played by Nicolas Cage too.
It would be tough unless you were, in that verse, in that universe. Spider-Man was a overrated hacky actor that was in his 50s and broke.
Don't you even?
Well, he is all of the things I just said.
No, he is not. He's perfectly fine.
I'm with Polly on this one.
Both of you are objectively wrong this stream.
I totally thought you were going to go against me on that one, Jack. I lived to be surprised. So good.
No, I'm not a huge Nicolas Cage fan. He's easily replaced in just about every movie he's in, except the movies where he plays white trash and adaptation.
I loved 8mm. It was so good.
And someone's going to bring up Leaving Las Vegas because, my God, it happened. Let's bring up Clerks and pretend that Smith hasn't made like a dozen movies that aren't good enough for Firestarter.
Okay,
we're talking angry today.
I'm talking about literally everything after Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Yeah, that's true. But that's also because Kevin Smith started smoking weed then.
He hadn't before?
No.
Does he still smoke weed?
Yes.
Even after his heart attack and all the weight loss and everything?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's the only acceptable answer for why yoga hosers is a thing.
Oh man.
That movie sucked.
Then what's the oh shit. The horn movie? Tusk.
Oh, yeah. that was weird.
Yeah, well, just weird and stupid and ill-conceived, I guess, is the best way to describe every one of his movies. It shouldn't have made it very far past the development pitch stage, where it's like, no, what the fuck are we talking about doing here? Let's, come up with something good.
I like the concept of Tusk as a response to something like Human Centipede.
Con Air is a masterpiece. Fight me. Oh, you know what? Flair Fritz brings up a good point. He was a hell of a lot of fun to watch in National Treasure. That was a really fun movie, and he played like a quirky American history professor searching for a treasure. It worked. And then And then
easily replaced.
He was easily replaced. I mean, yeah, he did a fine job, is all I'm saying. Not that someone else couldn't have done that role. It's just he was fun to watch in that movie. I will say this though, in Face Off, which is a movie I love. I don't care what people say. They're like, "Oh, it's improbable," and it's like, what the fuck? The same people that watch Face Off and say it's improbable will watch Star Wars about fucking space wizards and galactic empires and go, "Oh well, you know what I didn't like is that the Kyber crystals aren't available on that one planet in this whatever the fuck system." And it's like they can suspend their disbelief for the craziest shit in the world, but switching faces like they're not even the same height, and it's like, yeah, I know they're not, but you know, let it go. Anyway,
no, that movie is incredible just for the fact that we get to watch two extreme over actors trying to play the other actor.
And the thing is, say whatever you want about John Travolta, he does a really good Nicolas Cage impression.
Yes, he does.
And so in that way is kind of irreplaceable in that movie. Not for what he did, but for John Travolta did mocking him.
I just want to know, when you switch your face with someone else, do you have the ability to summon doves after that?
Oh, of course. I mean, if you switch your face with someone else, it's already under the assumption that you're in a John Woo movie.
Ah.
Fair enough. Look at Ham and Beans there. I heard Justin Trudeau does an amazing Mace Windu cosplay. Well done. Well done, sir.
Well, I was saying that's the whole thing that people were freaking out on Twitter about Justin Trudeau here recently, is that there was some sort of like either interview or like something going on with him, and in the background he has a Millennium Falcon model.
Oh, yeah, he's down with the kids.
Yeah, it's like, how do you do, fellow kids?
Today I was on Tiki Talks, and I was, speaking with my fellow citizens, and fuck off.
Blair Fritz, man. I feel like I'm the only one, but it's glad to see that I'm not. Ghost Rider was a good movie. Fuck you.
No, it's terrible. I disagree.
The Ghost Rider looked cool. The plot was dumb. Blackheart should not have been the villain. And Nicolas Cage was easily replaced.
I will give you that. The character design and the way that they CG'd out Ghost Rider, yeah, he looked great. But the plot and the storyline that they chose were just really bad. Especially when he was still Johnny Blaze. It was so bad. Like him walking around in that Daredevil suit. Like not Red Daredevil, but
I like that movie. I don't care. And I say I will agree that it's not perfect. Blackheart being the villain, and all of that kind of stuff. But as a superhero movie, you could do far worse. And I know because we've seen it.
Cynical Lindsay, Tiki Talks is a joke that Justin Trudeau's trying to act like he's down with the kids. That's what it went on TikTok and it misnamed it.
Well, okay, wait, hold on. Evolved Potato said, I like the Ghost Rider movies. They were fun. Hold on. Movies?
Yeah, there's a sequel, Spirits of Vengeance.
I know. I have not seen the sequel. I kind of refuse to.
No, movies that are good fun, that are superhero movies that are underrated, are the first two Fantastic Four movies.
Are we talking the 70s one?
No. Not the Roger Corman.
The Roger Corman one and the first one with Captain America. Yeah,
the Roger Corman one's just delightful.
That was a fun cheeseball ride.
Yeah,
Dr. Doom actually looked kind of cool. But yeah, that Rise of the Silver Surfer, I think we're gonna part ways on because that was just fucking stupid.
It's
giant dust cloud coming.
Yeah, I mean, you had this. They clearly spent all their CG money making Silver Surfer animate. So all they had left for Galactus was a big smoke cloud, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But listen. Jessica Alba was wearing a cat suit. You shut up. Leave it alone, all right? It was, although she did look freaky with blue eyes. I'm not going to lie. They should just let that part of it go. All right, so where are we at here? Let's.
I forgot.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, here's a fun one. The Witches got it wrong with insensitive portrayal of limb difference.
What?
Yes,
what?
I saw.
Yeah, I was like,
laughed hard.
What does that even mean?
Well, let me show you what it means. Okay, when they take their gloves off, they got hands like this. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And why that? Can you imagine why this is insulting? It's because it's current year of woke. It's like, yet when Hathaway and the other witches remove their gloves, we don't see appendages that resemble any clawed or animalistic or demonic creature. We see hands that look regrettably like the hands of somebody with ectrodactyly, a condition that results from missing central digits and or the appearance of a split formation. This sends a devastating message to kids with limb difference for whom normalization and acceptance can be elusive, and a dangerous subconscious one for everybody else.
So dangerous.
Yeah, so Anne Hathaway, yet again, woke fail. She just can't stop fucking up.
Yeah. I'm surprised that she hasn't been permanently canceled.
Yeah.
I mean, she playing a witch right now. I mean, tired to the stake, man. Get the pitch.
And I mean, there are plenty of Wiccan practitioners that aren't involved in evil in any kind of way, and this is misrepresenting their way of life.
Also, I would say that she is culturally appropriating Ronnie James Dio culture.
Polly, shave the beard. No one's gonna be eating anything out of your garden, and put a shirt on.
What?
I was making a Styx reference.
Oh. As if Styx actually cares about the occult.
That's a good point.
I like Styx. Okay, just it was a joke. It's a joke. Okay. Where were we? I just want to make sure that I'm not leaving tabs behind because, super professional in action here. Oh, yeah. Spider-Man, Michael Morales. Miles Morales could have tackled police reform head on. Instead, the cops are almost entirely gone. The substance of this Time article, for Christ's sake, this is in Time magazine, guys, is complaining that Spider-Man Miles Morales, the game, didn't have enough statements about Black Lives Matter and defund the police in it, which it should have had because Miles Morales is a Black with a capital B Latinx character, and so therefore needs to be making really strong statements about defund the police. That is actually the essence of this article.
But then his dad would be out of a job.
Yeah, I know, right?
His dad's a cop.
Yeah, but you don't think that he knows that he needs to Peter Parker's fantasies are an alter ego he dubbed Spider Cop, a hardboiled detective who has all the problematic markings of a Law and Order style TV crime fighter who refuses to play by the rules. Yeah, because, Trump and things. And supposedly it's much worse because not only are you reading a comic, but you video game fanatics out there are going to love this. You're not just reading a comic or watching a television show, but you're actually live action playing the character. So it's influencing your worldview in a stronger way. You see?
I say, man, we need to find. I keep thinking about it because I really want to clip it. The whole diatribe that we all went on about the getting butts in seats.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
that's like we need to comb our past videos and find that because I need that clipped. I really do.
Speaking of sexy Jessica Alba, rolling around in bra and panties on bed with a cigarette, highly problematic but awesome. Thank you very much, Fritz, for the $5. I couldn't handle the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
Yeah, okay.
Well done, sir.
For those that don't know what that is, that's I think it was a video from like IGN or something like that, talking about how Miles Morales, when he jumps off of a building in the video game, the video game, he like turns and looks at the camera with the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
Yeah.
Our buddy Mustafa heard that, and he's like, "I've never felt more insulted in my life." I'm like, good, dude, that should insult you.
Because I mean, that statement repackaged could be like, because you know how they walk.
Yeah, right.
Which is like, whoa, excuse me. But there you go. Hey man, DG, how's it going? Do you want to see where diversity can go wrong with zero self-awareness? Let's check out this quick article over here from Bounding. Former writer for the CW, Superman and Lois, hold on, Nadria? I'm going to go with Nadria. Nadria Tucker reveals how she, quote, pushed for diversity in the casting of Ma and Pa Kent. She wanted them to be persons of color. As her tweets go on, there's just more and more lack of self-awareness on display. And it's like, really? You don't know why you don't work for the CW anymore? Are you sure? In an interview with writer and film critic, is that Juanita? Or Jonita? That's not how you spell Juanita. With film critic Davis, in which Davis and Tucker discussed the writer's experience working on the show, the writer detailed how she, quote, pushed for diversity in the beginning with some castings for Martha and Jonathan Kent. Because they're Superman's adoptive parents, they can be literally anything in the world, she reasoned, before proceeding to note that the idea received significant resistance in the writer's room, and so we got pushback on that. Now, keeping in mind, they may or may not have gotten significant pushback. This is this particular writer, Tucker, saying so. In my opinion, her worldview is a little skewed. So we're going to, as we'll see going on here. Tucker would then comment that the Kents were cast with, I'm sure, some great actors. She wasn't even aware who the hell they cast. However, the jury may still be out on this because as of writing, no casting decisions have been announced regarding the iconic adoptive parents of Krypton's last son, though the writer does note that, quote, Martha ended up having to be recast. So, Tucker, again, we push for diversity. Again, we're ignored. Stuff like that just adds up, and you see the results on screen. When pressed by Davis on what she was referring to with her description of the collective we, great question, journalist actually doing the job, Tucker shared how she and, quote, several black writers, several female writers, who were below her in the very strict hierarchy of the writer's room, brought their concerns to the showrunner and the people above me. Again, all of her perspective. Was there actually a hierarchy there? Would other people who were there describe it in this way? I don't know. She would then detail how she complained about everything, such as what vehicle the villain drives, reasoning this is what writers do. We argue about this stuff all day. Critical statement she just made there. She literally complained about everything in her own words, right down to the vehicle the villains are driving. This is my job. I have things to say. I have an opinion. Some of those things are trivial kind of plot points that don't matter, like, again, what kind of vehicle a villain drives. And then some of them are a bit bigger and do matter a little bit more. She explained her contention over a retrospective episode draft and that she had outlined and written, noting that she had received relatively normal, quote, notes on my draft and outline. The showrunner ultimately found that they were not up to what she needed for a writer at my level. Though she admits she didn't face any particularly major or critical responses towards her works, it came up as a sticking point when her contract was not renewed. Really? The person who complains about everything, who thinks it's their job to complain about everything and makes everything a race issue, as we're going to find out, didn't have their contract renewed?
I know, I'm shocked too.
Now listen to her describe it on Twitter. Some personal views. Wednesday, I got word that my contract on Superman and Lois won't be extended. My services no longer needed. My outline and draft subpar. Obviously, I disagree with that last bit, lol. This is months after months of me flagging #MeToo jokes in dialogue. For months, you were flagging things with #MeToo in dialogue in the scripts? Huh.
This dialogue is way too rapey. He said hello. Rapey!
Of me defending the Bechdel test, of me fighting to ensure that the only black with a capital B faces on screen aren't villains, of me pitching stories for female characters. There's one title in the series, ! That went ignored. If I sound bitter, it's because this one stings. I've got to tell you, you sounded bitter in that interview before I even read your tweets.
Well, okay. There's one very important thing that you touched on at the very beginning of that. She's fired, right?
Well,
She's no
Hollywood
longer
fired.
working?
Yeah, like
Well, I was
contract
gonna
wasn't
say,
renewed.
here's the thing, right? She said that she would push for all of these things, that she was yelling about the car the villain drives, and that she's arguing. No, that's not your job.
Yeah.
Your job is to write, not argue.
And as much as it sucks, as the showrunner runs the show and they tell you what scripts are going to happen and what scripts aren't. When Ira Steven Behr took over as showrunner for Deep Space Nine, he had a writers meeting with all of them. And the Star Trek nerds out there will know what I'm talking about when he started listing off. Here are the things that I don't want scripts about. I don't want to see any scripts about this, about that. And then he said anything to do with Thomas Riker. I don't want to see scripts. And he said, and I heard a big collective "aw" in the room when I said Thomas Riker, which let me know there were at least 3 people in the room that already had scripts ready on that subject. Right? And did he see scripts about it? No. Why? Well, because he's the showrunner. And he just told you outright, right in front of everyone, that we're not going to be doing stories about X. So going up to him and whining and complaining is just going to piss him off, or her off, whoever the fuck's running the show. Like, you kind of sound like the very strict hierarchy. Notice how quick she was to say the people that were the black with a capital B people and women that worked beneath me, and then they would come to me and I would go to the people above me in the very strict hierarchy. You not only sound like you're hyper aware of who's above you, but very much interested in making people beneath you know that they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, just so my point in bringing all that up with like Ira Steven Behr and how it works in a writer's room, that the showrunner has control and you kind of have to do what they say, and it sucks, but that's the way that it is. But also, you just don't sound like a pleasant person to be around.
Right?
I can't work with her.
So, hey, Michael Hatfield, how's it going? Tucker is a vocal get this. Tucker is a vocal proponent of the defund the police movement and a prominent supporter of Black Artists for Freedom, a group who advocate an institutional severing of ties with law enforcement, as well as a broad sense of freedom and independent of a yardstick of blackness chosen by others, dominant institutions, and audiences narrowed in advance.
Yardstick of blackness.
Judged by others. So like
penis reference.
So the idea being is that the people for this Black Artists for Freedom advocate that others shouldn't be establishing what does and doesn't count as blackness for people who are black. I can only imagine what she would think of somebody who was black who didn't agree with her on whether or not something was quote unquote authentically black.
Oh, I think you know the terms she would use.
Well, that's just what I'm saying. This just sounds like a thoroughly argumentative and, Jack, disputatious person.
Indeed. I thoroughly approve.
$10 word.
It was accidentally came up, but what am I going to do? Not draw attention to it? That would make me some kind of amiable person. I mean,
well, now you just you're pissing everyone off with your verbiage.
Smart and shit. Show off.
No, that was all right. What were you going to say, Quiz?
We can turn this around on you all day, mister.
I know. That's why I just gave up. Fuck.
So there's one thing I actually have been wanting to bring this up for quite a while, because on my calendar that I've got for 2020 here up in my kitchen, that I mark off the days as they pass. I notice one of the things, because I get free calendars from Half Price Books, because I go there quite often and buy retro video games. But while I was going through it, the theme for this year was like each month was a 10-year period, going back to the 40s and all the way up to 2010. and they give like book recommendations, movie recommendations, music recommendations that exemplify everything for that time period. Well, one of the things that they recommend in the 2010s is a book by Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Oh,
Now,
Jesus.
those who are familiar with comic book curation have probably heard that name before. Now, that name also came up in something that advertised to me on Twitter. Are you guys aware of a TV show called Woke?
I heard the
No.
title before, but I never watched it or anything.
Okay. It's a story where the main character is a black guy
Hmm.
and he's like it's like sort of sitcom-y. He's navigating through his life, but things that have a social justice bent keep on making his life miserable, sort of thing, right? Now, I've not actually watched a single episode of this. This doesn't sound like something I would enjoy, but I did see an advertisement that was trying to get me to watch it, and one of them, the sequence, the ha ha funny sequence, a brown paper bag comes to life and starts talking to the main character, saying that I'm blacker than you, and he's all like, "Well, how do you say it? Because it's like just look at me." And
Hmm.
he holds up his arm to the bag, and he goes, "No, not because of your skin color. Here, you want to test about see how really black you are? Pronounce the name on that book." And it was Ta-Nehisi Coates. And the guy's all like, Tennessee
Tennessee.
something, Mr. Coates.
Yeah.
And he goes like, "Unless you can pronounce that name, you ain't black." I'm all like, "Holy shit, I'm black."
Uh, well, I don't know. Did you vote for Joe Biden?
Oh, well, that's a good point. That's a good.
Oh, busted.
Yeah. I down ballot voted. Does that count?
Did you?
Yes.
That's what I did last presidential election. No, I don't see a problem with down ballot voting. It's a perfectly legitimate approach. Not voting at all is not a legitimate approach.
Exactly.
That's my call. Anyway, uh, that's weird that it was a brown paper bag because of the notion of the brown paper bag test.
Yeah.
It's like we won't cast any woman in this role that's darker than a brown paper bag. Like it's only light skinned women ever get hired in Hollywood. That kind of notion.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's odd that that's what came to life and said that, but more odd that like what the fuck.
Yeah, I say that just immediately came to mind when this started talking about all this. And it's
You know
something I
why the
wanted to bring up,
Stormfront
but
people aren't very popular?
other than the fact that they're Nazis.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like popular amongst white folks is because they're
Why?
constantly saying, like, race traitor. Like they're describing what whiteness is and how you need to act to be white, what you need to do to be white. Like beyond all the hateful rhetoric, it's also just fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you for trying to tell me what to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I that's one thing that I will defend to my dying day. Anyone who uh is defying these sorts of people. If you sit there and try to tell me what to do, fuck you. I don't care what you think or say or do. Fuck you. You cannot invade my liberty by telling me what to do. Fuck you. And I will be in open defiance of you until my dying breath. I'm surprised that more people don't have that sort of mentality too. I don't know. Just me though.
So
I am.
that's okay. Nothing wrong with it.
I just coming to think about it, unless you can say the name Ta-Nehisi Coates, then you ain't black. Holy shit, I'm black. I didn't even know. We lose Polly.
We might have.
He's muted.
Oh. He got a call from his cool friends.
Yeah, so he's taking a
I
call
did in
right now.
fact get a call, but no, that person's not. Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I got a really quick phone call there, and Quiz was in mid sentence. I didn't realize he was going to fast it. Shit.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's fine. This article would be worth going through if we hadn't spent so much time on some other things, but like Kurt Russell basically says that actors should remain politically neutral because like I'm an actor and this is my skill set. And why does anyone want to have to hear about what I think about the world and what makes it any more valid? Isn't it kind of just misusing your platform to try and influence people? Well, that kind of clear thinking and sound reasoning isn't welcome here, Kurt.
Right.
Why don't you fuck off to whatever fascist state you came from, sir? Because I'm, like, wow, did people react badly to this?
I have nothing but respect for Kurt Russell.
It's not really like that outsized of a comment. It's not like it's a particularly controversial one. Like he's just like, I don't really think that blah blah blah. But so many of them are have been doing the go along to get along thing with radical fucking opinions for several years that they're like, no, it's kind of our job as actors to do this. You want a good laugh, and I've been thinking about doing a short clip video to put up on my channel because not a lot of people have ever seen anything. I've never seen the original time that it happened. Marlon Brando is going to be accepting the award for Best Actor, and he's nominated and wins. And he sends a Native American and Indian girl out to accept the award for him. In protest, he doesn't show up to accept the award. And she goes out there and speaks about the plight of the Native people. And it was weird. And didn't make much sense. Like, this is an award show for film. What are you doing, Brando? Now that would be, par for the course. There would be nothing particularly odd about somebody doing something like that. But not only did it happen, and when the camera pans and shows some of the faces in the audience, they're just baffled as to what the hell's going on. Like, it's just time and a place, and this is just weird. And this is how you choose to use your platform in this bizarre and really virtue signaling way. That's the way that it came across. It made Marlon Brando at the time seem like he was full of shit. Now it, unless you make a statement like that, you're a sellout, right? To the point where one of the other announcers got up and they said, well, I wonder if anybody else here tonight has a cause. Which got a, awkward laugh. Like, yeah, what the fuck was that? Well, I don't know. Did you watch the last Oscars where Brad Pitt stands up and accepts an award for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and makes an inside statement reference to the Senate portion of Trump's impeachment hearing? So anyone watching it years from now are going to be, what the fuck are you talking about? And actually, now that I'm mentioning it, you know what he actually said, Brad Pitt? Like, he was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, directed by Quentin Tarantino, right? And the show and the movie did very, very well. And he said, I don't know, with all this stuff that's been going on lately, maybe Quentin will make a movie about it in years to come, and the adults in the room will finally stand up and do the right thing. The adults in the room. The Hollywood celebrities is who he meant.
Well, I mean, maybe he meant like at their weird pedo parties.
Yeah. Like, you guys got to be fucking kidding me. Right? You provide divorce lawyers with more jobs than like the rest of America combined. Drug use through the roof. Fucking addiction clinics like you wouldn't fucking believe. Private doctors to keep you fucking sewed up with whatever fucking pharmaceuticals you need. Molestation and accusations of every kind of fucking depravity known to fucking man. Harvey Weinstein's left, right, and center as if he's the only fucking one. Oh yes, please. Preach to us how we should be behaving morally. Bunch of fucking weirdo degenerates. Anyway. Moving on. Square Enix reports Marvel's Avengers has failed to offset its initial development costs.
I wonder why.
Everyone loved playing Kamala Khan. I heard all of these people saying on social media, who's this really cool character with the big fists? I want to read comics about her.
Said no one ever.
Was that the marketing department?
actually what I heard all over is, who the fuck is this? I had friends ask me, who the fuck is this? Because they don't read comics, but they know, like, IRL friends who played this game, and it's like, who's that character you can't avoid playing? It's got like the blue lightning bolt. I'm like, oh, that's Miss Marvel. Yeah, who the fuck is that? I think it's a pet character of one of the people who's in creative control at Marvel Studios. So, yeah.
Be prepared to see her in MCU movies.
Yeah. Until Sana Amanat's fired, she'll be in everything. I made that prediction before, and I just want to re-cement it. As soon as Amanat's fired, no one's going to hear Miss Marvel again.
Kamala Khan will go the way of the dinosaur. Yeah.
It's the only one keeping that character alive because it's her OC character. So she gets money off, like, there's a financial incentive as well as a personal involvement incentive. Yes, it's her pet character, and it's her self-insert, like, oh, young Muslim girl who's very westernized, and my voice, and I have to blah blah blah. But she also gets money every time that character's in a comic. Do you think as creative director she's ever gonna slit the neck of her own golden goose? No. Why would she?
Hammond Beans actually brings up a point. Says, does Sana Amanat get royalties off of this game? Yes.
Yeah, that's yeah.
If it's any sort of way to tell exactly how much some of these creators do get money off of, I know EVS is not the big name he used to be several years ago, but I know this from EVS since he created Atrocitus. Every time they use Atrocitus, like how they used Atrocitus in Injustice 2, the fighting video game made by NetherRealm. EVS got a massive paycheck from royalties for that. So Sana Amanat having Kamala Khan in the Marvel Avengers game, even if the Marvel's Avengers game tanks, which it did because it's a bad game, Sana Amanat made some bank.
Charlize Theron campaigns for a lesbian version of Die Hard.
Yeah.
Like, what? When I read that, I was like, what?
Haven't they kind of tried that before?
I want to say something, but it's got a slur in it, but it's so apropos.
Well, type it in chat. You can get banned on your own accord. Actress Charlize Theron, who recently appeared in The Old Guard. She's getting up there. That's funny. The idea of a lesbian version of Die Hard was pitched by Twitter user so-and-so. They wrote, lesbian Christmas rom-coms are all well and good, but what I really want is a Die Hard where Charlize Theron goes on a rampage to save her wife.
There you go. Read chat.
And Ebony Williams is like, can't Hollywood come up with something original? No, absolutely not. And it's like, I'm tired of hearing this, and I'm tired of saying it, but it doesn't make it any less true. It's like, nothing is ever enough. No one will ever be satisfied, because, romantic comedies on and seasonal Christmas romantic comedies up on the Hallmark Network have lesbians in them, and it's, but immediately upon that thing, it's, oh, well, why isn't there a lesbian Die Hard? Is the next thought, or problems with the representation or presentation of said LGBTQ plus characters in whatever medium it is, right?
Yeah.
And then Charlize gets behind it, and it's like, I'm wondering if, like, remember the whole thing about Charlize Theron having trouble finding a husband and not being able to understand why?
Yeah.
Remember when that happened? A couple years ago? She did this interview with, like, Vanity Fair, whatever, fucking Hollywood celebrity promotional magazine. And she said, like, I don't get it. Like, I'm rich. Like, I have all these adopted children. Like, I'm gorgeous. I'm well known. Why can't I find a man? And I remember Sargon did a great video about it. He's like, why do you think, lady? Like with his condescending British tone. He went into this whole thing about it. It was perfect. It's like, lady, you think you are God's gift to the world. And hypergamy is in a real way is a big thing, and that's got something to do with it, I'm certain. And who would ever be up to your standards by the way that you talk about yourself? And it would be a Hollywood 2-year divorce. I mean, I defy you to like look up actors. Every time I go to Wikipedia to look up an actor, because I'm looking up, their filmography or something like that, or where they've done voice work or something. It in that little sidebar where it says like so and so born with this name and then changed their name to this because they're in Hollywood.
I am drunk, so drunk.
And at the bottom, it'll always list married so and so, divorced on this year, married so and so, divorced on this year. They've got like 3 or 4 marriages that lasted all of 2-3 years. It's like, well, Hollywood people tend to not get along with each other for very long. Looking at you, Scarlett Johansson, 3rd marriage now. And her starring in the Oscar bait Married People. That's funny. I still think Scarlett Johansson's gorgeous, but like, I mean, come on, lady. I don't think there's anything wrong with getting divorces, but the speed with which and the simplicity with which they sign prenuptial agreements and then get a divorce like it's mailing a package. That's just not normal. This is Kyle. Thank you very much for the donation. Hello, chat people and comic book curation. Well, hello to you too. This is Kyle. I appreciate
Hey, Kyle.
it. There's something else to do with lesbians here. What is it? Oh, yeah. DC Comics introduces gay and overweight daughter of Starfire. Now, we... what a charming looking character.
Oh, yes. Doesn't at all look like the author. Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
I brought up that... no, not that one. There's the author. I brought up this article on purpose just so we could see the author. There's the author, Tamaki. And yeah, just self-insert. What are you talking about? No.
No, couldn't be.
Yeah, we need to talk about that other article too, because it's pissed me off.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about this a little bit last week, but that was like a not comic book curation. I was just shooting the shit over on Quiz's channel. So we didn't really talk about this, but everyone else already has, and I think everybody understands what's as funny about this as we do. The only point that I really have to make with it is this. For those of you who don't know, really quickly done. This is a graphic novel, a one-shot called I Am Not Starfire, about Starfire's daughter. No, this is not what Starfire's daughter looks like in canon, but they reimagined her, or the writer and artist reimagined her to look like this, to be a fat, gay, goth girl who wants to distance herself from her bubbly, happy, scantily clad mother. And it's like, I ain't like her at all. And the only thing that I wanted to bring up is a quote that Entertainment Weekly, I think that's what EW stands for. In the interview, she says, the writer Tamaki says, I really wanted to do something that was family oriented. I've always wanted to do a mother-daughter story. And I've always wanted to do a story about a fat character. And it would just kind of evolve from there. That's all I wanted to say. I mean, wow, lady. So you want to do a story about your mother-daughter issues and your constant battle with your weight issues and like this. So you wrote your diary? Is that what you did here?
Dear diary, I know my therapist will read this, but she's the female Tom King. Gamer Vleen makes a good point though. Looked like a goth Miss Swan from Mad TV.
She look like a man.
And she has the septum ring, of course, and all the other little offbeat, quirky, quasi-goth tropes are there. I've got nothing against. I've seen plenty of hot goth girls in my time.
But this has all the accoutrements of daddy issues and apparently mommy issues.
Yeah, big time mommy issues. Because it's why go for a character like Starfire? Because she's, scantily clad and bubbly and
she's so pretty. Ew.
yeah, and all the other characters are like, writers have written her that characters are making reference to how attracted they are to her and how attractive they find her. So let's take her daughter, who already exists and already is established as looking a certain way and being a certain way, and for this one shot, admittedly is just a one shot, make her this goth chick and do a self-insert for the writer Mariko Tamaki. My God. Ebony Williams asks, when did all the self-inserts become popular in media meant for the masses? Something I don't understand. I was thinking about this because this character is also gay, and it's like, okay. I was thinking about Gay Iceman, written by Sina Grace for a little while, and Iceman's going to come up in some other stories, so a little bit of foreshadowing here. Iceman was written originally back in like Stan Lee's time, right, as being the big man on campus 60s stereotype, right? Ladies' man, athletic, blonde, fit. That's who.
Evil.
Evil. That's who Bobby Drake, Iceman, was written to be. And then more writers had more time with him, and they turn him into this guy who's like, yeah, he goes out on lots of dates and has lots of girlfriends, and that is one of the issues. This guy can't ever seem to keep a relationship together. Why? Well, he has a lot of the insecurity issues that underlay that big man on campus personality type. And he's a womanizer, but it's or a serial dater, whatever way you want to call it. And that's who his character is, and that's who he is established, right? And then Sina Grace comes along and makes him gay, but not just gay, as we talked about before. And Jack, I like the way that you said it. If anyone else had written this, it would be like, if a straight man had written the Gay Iceman comic, it would be homophobic propaganda.
Yeah.
Because it's
completely over the top and full of every cliche you can possibly think of.
Yeah.
He was written as Jack from that show with Deborah Messing. Damn it. Can't think of the name of it now. I'm gonna look it up. It's pissed me off.
Okay. But he even does a costume change where he's wearing like this little, I don't know, outfit that would look like it would fit in at a gay dance club somewhere. Like everything he does and says and wears is flamboyant. Barely several pages go by without him referencing the fact that he's gay or where his boyfriend is. Or there's this whole scene where young Bobby Drake comes back, whole mini story arc really, where young Bobby Drake comes back who hasn't come out as being gay yet, and has an interaction with his parents with older Bobby Drake. And it's like all about coming out to your parents and stuff like that. See, it's like Ebony Williams said, like, is this meant for the masses? Well, it's meant for a wide swath of people that are going to be reading it. Who the fuck are you aiming this comic towards, Sina Grace? This is a major character. Why would you think that people would want to write about stuff that is this tightly defined, like not even for gay people, but for a very particular segment of gay people? Could you laser focus this to a particular audience anymore? And in such a ham-fisted way with a, like, I'm straight and I'm offended for gay people reading that fucking comic book.
Yeah. It was Will and Grace.
Will and Grace.
You never saw it?
Heard of it, but
the gay dude on one of the gay guys on there is just like the most flamboyant, yay kind of thing. The other guy's like the abbot of the group, but yeah, one of the characters on there is the most flamboyant character from the 90s ever. And that's what Gay Iceman reminded me.
The reason I bring it up is it makes me think like, okay, so you got this character, Mariko Tamaki, you've got a chance to write a comic book and you go this far with it. You go full Sina Grace with it. Let's make her this and this and this to the point where, you know, who's the most delighted of all and loving it more than anyone else? The staff writers over at the Mary Sue. Oh, well, you know, so them and their 5 friends will buy the comic and the rest of it will just sit there. And admittedly, it's a one shot, but it's so emblematic of what's wrong with the editorial thinking. I mean, people go, oh, you got a problem with gay characters. No, because I remember when I was reading the, I can't remember who the writer was on that. Whoever the fuck was the writer before Jeff Lemire took over for Moon Knight in the series previous to Jeff Lemire's run. They decided to write his longtime partner Frenchie as gay. Yeah, no problem, because it was interesting the way that they did it, and they have his boyfriend right there, and it doesn't matter because it doesn't undermine the character and it doesn't completely change who the character is. And Mark Spector and Frenchie have this actually really interesting interaction over it. Mark Spector's more mad than anything. It's like, we fought super criminals all over the world and you somehow kept this secret from me. And it's like, well, I didn't think you could handle it. And he rages on him because, Mark Spector's got like mental health issues, right? Like he's like, table flippingly angry over it. It's like, what are you saying? Blah, blah, blah. Who the fuck do you think I am that you couldn't trust me with this? It was an interesting take on it, way of doing it. Okay, fine. Yeah, I don't care if Frenchie's gay. I've been reading about Frenchie for a long time. People are like, oh, you're just homophobic against characters. No, I just really hate shitty hackneyed writing.
Yeah, and forced alterations to characters that already exist.
Yeah.
Let's say that's
good.
Oh, I was gonna say that touches on something, is the fact that all of these sorts of things are so cliched to the point where you're not. You read you read the interactions with these sorts of things, and you're just rolling your eyes at this point, because it's nothing new. It's nothing, treading the ground. You're sitting there trying to make this big old statement about how you're fighting against people who hate you when no one gives a shit.
Yeah. Well, that's just the thing. It's their own insecurities that are being expressed on paper, and they get mad because they are literally taking it personally. This is an attack on them. All these self-inserts make any criticism into an attack on them. It literally is to their core. That's why they get so upset about this.
And that's a good point, is the fact that it is an attack on them. Because when I sit there and say that this version of Starfire's daughter, which is, by the way, not canon, Mariko Tamaki, is terrible. And because of that, you should feel bad. Okay? Me saying that is tantamount to me saying, you are terrible, Mariko, and you should feel bad.
Exactly. Oh, real fast.
Good. Okay. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Thank you. This is Kyle. Took this off some homeless guy wearing a plate carrier up in Portland. I'd say I'd splitting the profits with you, but this was literally all he had. Well, thank you, Kyle. It's very generous.
And also from This Is Kyle, since I'm late, I need to know if I missed you yelling at something. No, in fact, actually, I got Polly to yell at me. So.
Well, this very same writer that we've been talking about is going to take over writing at Detective Comics.
You have no idea how much this pisses me off.
Yeah, I mean, to go from Tom King, that we talked about repeatedly turning Batman into his own therapy diary. You've got this woman who is clearly not above writing blatantly, explosively obvious self-insert characters, and now she's going to write Batman? Really? I
wonder how long it's going to take for there to be a fat, gay, Asian woman Robin.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
Here's the thing, right? It's almost insulting too, like more insulting than regular fan fiction, right? Because she's not narcissistic enough to cast herself as the hero. She's the supporting character, but she makes the story about the supporting character, riding the coattails of a more popular character.
Yeah, it's because she's got low self-esteem. I'd be willing to bet that she doesn't think she could be the hero, but she still wants the story to be about her.
Exactly.
She's narcissistic with an ego problem.
Yeah, I was going to say,
she has self-esteem issues.
Yeah, there's narcissism, but it's not overly narcissistic.
Yeah.
And in some ways, that makes it even worse than being a completely head in the clouds, you're not listening to anything I say narcissist.
Exactly. And I've been reading Detective Comics because I've been catching up, because I was behind, because I was picking up a couple missing issues from the Joker War, and I just kind of let things slack. And I got to tell you, the Two-Face story was great. And Tomasi's been doing a really good job on Detective, and the fact they're kicking him off for this weirdo chick that is a hack writer. Her She-Hulk was all about She-Hulk either drinking coffee or eating food. Seriously, look it up. It was so bad. She was even watching a reality show where there was a food-based villain that she had to go fight. It was fucking ridiculous. She's one of the Marvel people that made everything about sitting around eating.
Mm.
I don't care about your weird weight issues. I don't want to read about Batman getting fat because he's sitting around eating all the time. No, it's stupid and it's weird, and I'm angry about it because Tomasi's been doing a great job entertaining stories.
Well, one quick thing before we move on from this particular aspect, I forgot to mention, Entertainment Weekly. You guys don't really talk about comics while you're writing about this. Oh, because it's a first.
Yeah.
But it's the only time they ever pay attention.
First gay superhero daughter.
Want a good laugh? Go to the Washington Post website or New York Times website and type in comic books, and then look at all the stories that they cover. It's either on a first or racism or just the only time they ever fucking pay attention, because it's what news entertainers do. It's an opportunity to promote ideals. And we're just talking about this. Yeah, I guess some people actually did misunderstand that New York Times best-selling author. What the fuck does that mean?
They purposely exclude people from those lists, so.
Yeah, and people that you wouldn't, in books that you wouldn't think are bestsellers somehow get on because of the particular genre that they fit into, that it's, small pool. So it's not that hard to become a best-selling author. And it is a YA graphic novel. People do need to keep that in mind. Like, it's not so much that it's done because, well, it's a one-off. Calm down. What? The fat goth chick can't be in one thing. Well, that's not what really worries me. What worries me is the person who's doing that and is being interviewed multiple places for it and is being promoted for it and being told that she can do no wrong and is problem glasses and blue hair, for Christ's fucking sake. And she's now going to be writing Detective Comics. And it's like, with what fucking background and ability to do so? Like, even Tom King, or I should say even Tom King didn't have the fucking chops for that. And look at the directions that he took fucking Detective Comics in. Writing, like, because everybody told him he was awesome. Everyone told him he could do no wrong. Shielded from all the criticism. It's
I would
frightening.
say the man, I had a thought and I lost it. Hold on.
Assassin asked, how does this get past the editor without them saying, what is this boring crap? The editors don't do anything anymore. They don't even catch spelling errors, like the 2014 calendar where they misspelled calendar on the cover.
Well,
my favorite go-to. But they are also for this crap. You're looking at people that are all of the same mindset, and they're like, oh yes, this is edgy and deconstructionist. This will show them those loser boys.
I would argue something here, Polly. You're talking about how it's just a graphic novel. Calm down. No. Number one, you don't relent at all in your opposition of these sorts of things. And number two, let's not forget that a graphic novel can and does carry implications into an actual series. Let's not forget the fact that Killing Joke happened and what happened immediately after that in Batman canon. Barbara Gordon was no longer Batgirl, and she was Oracle because she was paralyzed from the Joker shooting her in her spine, which happened in the Killing Joke.
Yeah, but if they want to change stuff in and out of canon, whether or not it's a one shot or not, is not really going to make a difference. What I'm saying is that people, I make that point, meaning people thought it was an ongoing series, and I said no, it's a one shot. Now, can it influence it? Yeah, but my point was limited to only the fact that this particular thing, I Am Not Starfire, is not an ongoing series. Not that it would have lasted beyond the 8 to 12 issues that series like that always last,
Yeah. Well, even worse is DC's putting a lot of bank into these young adult graphic novels. They've been focusing a lot on young adult stuff, and this is the direction they're leaning toward as a company.
Yeah.
Is this young adults material.
Like the whole Gotham High thing, remember that?
Yeah, Gotham High, the one with Aqualad where he was super gay. they're all very BIPOC and LGBTQ friendly. So they're heading in that direction. So the fact that they took this woman and after giving her this god awful travesty of writing, she's going to be on Detective Comics. That doesn't bode well for the future of Batman. If DC survives the next 5 years,
Well, that's
I
the
don't
thing
know
is,
if Detective Comics will.
you're talking about like editors. Since the last time we streamed, AT&T and then down through Warner's most of the editors are fired. Most of them are gone at DC. There really aren't any editors left. Quite literally. I'm not sure how the fuck they're running their business now. I think it's creator controlled. They were getting rid of all of the high salaried editors that had been there for a long time because AT&T took on a massive amount of debt. Ethan Van Sciver, I mean, this is a rumor, but Van Sciver claimed that his inside DC, and he worked there for years and years. So I have no doubt that he has insiders. I don't know about this particular point that he makes, though, is that DC is going to cease publishing.
I don't know. I think it depends on how the sales go, because they're using up a lot of material right now. Like that, they took 5G and refocused it to future state, and it's taking over their entire publishing schedule for January and February. That's a bold move to put your entire eggs in that one event basket. That doesn't tell me they have a lot of confidence going forward, but that stuff's all paid for, so they can adapt it fairly easily into a bunch of miniseries. I don't know. I'm giving it a 50-50 at this point. It's possible they'll spin DC off into its own thing. It's possible they'll just license the characters out. They might just keep publishing and use it as an IP farm and a loss leader. I'm not sure. I really don't know.
One has to wonder when these executive decisions were being made to greenlight the publication of that, I Am Not Starfire. That happened before the firings, one would have to imagine, and just in terms of like turnaround time from the time that something's been greenlit. But this decision for Tamaki to take over at Detective Comics was post all of them being fired. So it's an interesting idea. And says a lot about like institutional theory. Actually, it's like you can fire everyone who runs a place, but a corporate culture still exists in the place unless you have new leadership that comes in and changes the organizational culture of a organization. Everything's going to go on like it did before. It's as the old saying in institutional theory goes, it's like a ship at sea. It doesn't change on a direction on a dime. It does so very, very slowly. And that's enough political science for tonight. Thank you very much, Gamer Valine, for the $5. This is my declaration that me being Wonder Woman's daughter is now canon. I'm 5'4", pale, and not rocking killer abs. I did get her super strength and ended up hurting my neck. Okay.
Well, you just wrote a better story than Mariko Tamaki's ever done. So
yeah, I would actually buy Gamer Valine as a young adult graphic novel insert as the Amazonian daughter. And then before I would buy what's her fucking name? What's the fat goth chick's name?
I don't know the character's name offhand.
No,
I blocked out most of this.
Ebony Night Raven or like
something stupid like that.
No. Hold on.
It's not much better than that, Quiz. In fact, Ebony Night Raven sounds way cooler, in my opinion.
Mandy
Corey.
Mandy Corey. See, that even sounds like something you'd say insultingly.
Yeah.
Mandy Corey. That's Mandy Corey, Starfire's daughter.
It's bad. It's
well,
real
speaking
bad.
of the things that are going on at Warner and AT&T and all of that stuff and the massive debt they took on. Oh, well, okay, here's a quick story. Rumor, Captain Marvel actress Brie Larson could be replaced by the Mandalorian actors. See how sad she looks? But I got paid $5 million for the last movie, and I went and bought a bunch of designer clothes in a house I couldn't afford. You have to hire me. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Nobody actually likes me, and I bitch about things all the time. Oh my God, how is the patriarchy responsible for this? It's not that I'm a miserable bitch that totally ruined the promotion of my own film. Fuck, what? That's my read.
That's a lot in one photo. But you're not wrong on any of it.
I write long captions, my friend.
What they say is that pictures speak. Was it 1,000 words?
Pictures worth 1,000 words.
Yeah, pictures worth 1,000 words. That's it.
You know what? I couldn't fucking find I thought I had opened a tab with an article from, who the hell was it? Somebody outside the comics review group. But yeah, Wonder Woman 1984 is going. I mean, God, look how sexy she looks doing the whisper thing.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, Gal Gadot, man. Anyway, Wonder Woman 1984 is going to be doing simultaneous theater and live streaming on HBO Max. It was rumored that that's going to be the way that it is, and boom, that's the way that it is. And again, look how sexy Gal Gadot is looking there. Damn. Anyway, what I find funny about this is how malleable these Hollywood types are in their interviews. I'm not trying to say in any other kind of way, but like when you're reading an interview with a director or an actor, they're just saying lines that they and their publicist came up with in a promotional sense. Because it's like Jenkins, the director of the film, she goes, but the truth is, what's the point of film? The point of a film is that the message you're trying to connect with the world. That's the most important thing. Fluffy non-point what? What? So in that way, this was a great idea when it was presented. I was like, oh my God, this is the moment. This is the moment where the thing we have can become something to give and a better thing and to try and be about hope. Like, I actually read that as she said it. What the fuck are you saying? And like,
all I'm hearing right there is
yeah. And she said,
no, they cut off the last sentence where she was like, hey, pass me that bong.
Yeah. And then she goes on to, Jenkins went on to explain that she's excited for people to watch Wonder Woman 1984 on Christmas Day because that's when it's being released and also on HBO Max. And she explained, I love Christmas. And the fact that we get to play in people's homes on Christmas Day is like a great honor in my life. Really, truly. All right. I never thought I would say this about streaming over theatrical, and I'm going to go back on my old ways down the road, but this is a special year. So like to give the film in any way they can, this is really awesome. And it's, I love that.
Did someone give her a Valium before this interview?
I love that Bounding Into Comics went back and looked up like things that she said in the past about this because she didn't want it to be. She wanted a full-on theatrical release because I want to be on the red carpet receiving all my accolades. I want a big theatrical release. I want to bring in as much money as possible. Blah blah blah. Right? She wanted the Hollywood thing. Streaming, fuck that. That's for small-time, low-budget Blumhouse films on Netflix and shit. You know what I mean? And she's like, she said back in October, she warned about theater extinction. Jenkins told Reuters, if we shut this down, this will be not be a reversible process. We could lose the movie theater going experience forever. Look how cool Gal Gadot looks there. Anyway, just pointing it out as I go. Jenkins went on to compare the theater industry to that of the music industry. It could be the kind of thing that happened to the music industry where you get this crumble the entire industry by making it something that can't be profitable. I don't think any of us want to live in a world where the only option is to take your kids to watch a movie in your own living room and not have a place to go for a date, Jenkins added. I really hope that we'll be able to be one of the first ones to come back and bring that into everyone's lives. And now she's like, I'm so happy we're going to be able to be in people's homes. And it's like, these are all just publicists' words. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like the things that you read that they tell Access Media. I mean, Access Media are a bunch of blood-sucking vultures just repeating whatever the actors say or just repeating whatever their publicists say. And it's all just floating around. Get your fat ass into the theater, flyover state dweller, and eat popcorn and say you like the movie, bigot.
Well, the real loser here is the kid that was supposed to take his girlfriend on a date to see the movie and get a little bit of under the shirt play. And he's losing out because now most of the theaters are closed due to the cough. and he's not going to get to do that. Like, Regal's still going to be shut down. This is going to have a very limited theatrical release. They're just dumping it because they need the money.
Horny people are always inventive, Jack. That's why Netflix and chill's a thing.
Yeah, but if you're like a high schooler, you don't get to do that. Her parents are going to be in that same fucking room watching you.
Well, you just gotta bide your time. Look, the stealth coppa feel. It's totally a thing, Jack. And
I know, but it's a lot of extra work for a kid that young. I'm just saying, like, you start with the mom and then move to the daughter because there's probably no dad in the picture if you're lucky.
A coppa to feel against her mom?
Yeah. Why not throw the old lady a bone? She's probably in her 40s, bitter, eating ice cream, crying, watching Wonder Woman with her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend on Christmas Day. Yeah. If you're lucky, you do both at once.
Well, I mean, I'd cop a feel on Gamer Valine's mom. Look, Jesus.
Right?
Good point. That's a good point.
Just saying. So as a final story to round up episode 99 in a bit, before we go into pitches, this is a story that's near and dear to me and thus leaves me particularly frustrated. If you can look at the background here, we are in Spider-Man and his amazing friends, whatever, college dorm. I don't know what to call it in Aunt May's house. What do you call it? Their pad, I guess, because it was the 70s, right? Where Iceman and Firestar and Spider-Man, or Peter Parker, Bobby Drake, and Angelica Jones all live. And I am a huge fan of Spider-Man and his amazing friends. It's one of the, it even rivals 67 Spider-Man for classic Spider-Man cartoons. It's and yes, beats 94 Spider-Man as well. But anyway, I'm a huge fan of the series. So this stuff that's going on with it lately is pissing me the fuck off. And this is kind of an older story, but we didn't have a chance to complain about it, so I'm going to complain about it now. Disney Plus adds disclaimer to episode of Spider-Man and his amazing friends apologizing for negative depictions of Japanese characters because he speaks with a stereotypical accent, and it's like, oh, fuck off, shut up. Seriously, what does it matter?
Yeah.
Disney, I guess they're just like the world's most litigious company, so they're litigious about things that haven't even happened yet, so they put out warnings. So it's like, hey, we warned you. You know, you don't cancel us. Not really worth it. And especially the way that, like, okay, but you're still going to show it, aren't you? Like, you don't want to cut it down. The episode Sunfire features an appearance by the hippopotamus mutant hero who falls in love with Starfire and requests her help in powering the fusion reactor, a device built by his uncle Genju, which he believes can convert the pair's mutant energies into a supply. She's not a mutant. Well, whatever. Much to the benefit of the entire planet. However, Sunfire's uncle soon reveals his true intention and then the whole thing. But, you know, you get the little warning in advance. Ooh, this looks really close to nudity. That's what your warning should have been there for. But Gamer Valine, thank you very much for the $5. Jack, I'm sorry. The link in the description isn't working on mobile. I will give you money later. On another note, as a tech employee geek that took the television radio production, I am waiting on IMAX projectors for the home. Me and man will buy one. Yeah, actually, you know what? People talked about IMAX as being overrated. I personally am a fan of the theater going experience, and I pay for IMAX movies because I'm actually a big fan of IMAX. I don't know.
Same. I prefer IMAX over that craze of fucking 3D that we had for a while.
Well, IMAX 3D, don't forget about that. That's pretty rocking.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
And let me tell you something. I'm a fan of IMAX, which is one of the reasons that I can say, and I'm going to reiterate this point I've made before, that The Dark Knight Rises is not as good of a film as Batman v Superman. And one of the multitude of reasons is because it was shot partially in IMAX and partially not. And if you saw it in the theater, the screen would suddenly jump in size, and the top and bottom of the screen when they were doing some flyover of Chicago as a stand-in for Gotham City would be this huge, gorgeous, high-resolution IMAX image. And then this scene would cut to them being indoors of Wayne Manor or whatever the fuck, and the screen would shrink back down again. It's like, bro, make a call. Are you shooting the film in IMAX or not? Because it was really fucking distracting. And so once again, I'm not trying to say Batman v Superman was a great movie. I'm simply saying it was a better movie than Dark Knight Rises. Fight me. Hello?
Yeah, you're not. I'm not going to argue with you.
No, I'm not going to argue with you either. They're both pretty bad movies, though.
Yeah.
I enjoyed both of them. I thought they were fun.
So anyway, well, I didn't realize. Okay, I thought I was going to get some argument there.
Nope.
Well, I've had lots of people take issue with me on that. I've become like the defender of Batman v Superman. It's like I'm not defending it. I'm simply saying there's movies that are worse than it. Let's be, look at these things honestly. Dark Knight Rises was really overrated. Yes, it had some good stuff in it. I'm not saying it's a terrible movie. Yes, it's worth watching once, but it's nowhere as good as the previous two Christopher Nolan Batman films. It was really overrated. And Anne Hathaway, who can't stop sticking her foot in her woke mouth, was in it. And, well, actually, she was pretty sexy as Catwoman, wasn't
she? She's okay looking.
Yeah. But I mean, the whole plot that she was involved. Oh, I need to get a hold of this Wayne Technologies thing that will erase my name from the internet. Really? That's your plot point? Fucking hell.
Well, not everybody has good motivation in life. Some people are just dumb.
No, it's just a dumb. I mean, like, oh well, this is like a comic book thing. We can just make up some shit. It's like, remember the character Screen Time? He got his power to be like a cyber warrior when he inhaled his uncle's internet gas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's so fucking stupid. Why the fuck did your editors let you get away with that? In the same kind of idea. It's like, oh, she's looking for this thing that erases her from the internet. Like, are you fucking serious?
The fat girl had a magic bag of holding, and he huffed his grandfather's farts or whatever. So the editor was just like, whatever, run with it.
Well, you know, Gamer of Lean's not wrong. The cinematography was better. Well, yeah. I mean, one of the central problems with Batman v Superman is that it's grim dark in a bad way. Not in a good way. In a visual way.
But before we wrap up, did you want to cover the other Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends story?
Damn right I did. The answer is no. Were Spider-Man and his amazing friends in a polyamorous relationship? No. Have you ever watched the series? They're both constantly hitting on Angelica Jones. Why? Well, look at her. She's smoking hot. She's smart as hell, and she's funny. Of course, these two guys are trying to get with her, and she's constantly friend-zoning them. Where the hell do you get polyamorous fuckfest out of that?
You don't think they were running a train? Come on.
Nah, she's not a train girl.
Was in the middle.
Well, yeah, and I mean, and CBR. What are you trying to slip in some Cena Grace storylines with this? That it was like truly polyamorous, where you had Peter Parker and gay Iceman getting it on, so you can make Peter Parker gay by proxy.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
they've been implying that Peter's bi for a while now on CBR and a couple of the other sites.
Yeah. Spider-Man's Amazing Friends is a horny show. Is it possible that Spidey is in a polyamorous relationship with Iceman and Firestar? Just stop. No, the answer is no. And like, it's a horny show. Yeah, I guess it is, in the sense that Peter Parker and Bobby Drake are always hitting on Angelica. Well, yeah, they have eyesight.
Yeah, they're college men. Of course they're trying to bang her.
It's just so stupid. Like, I need to write about something non-binary or something gay or something polyamorous. And you know what I'm really sick of hearing online? You want to know what I'm really sick of hearing online? People not saying polyamorous, but simply poly. I'm watching AP stream the other night. Seriously, I'm watching AP stream the other night, and he had some fat woman in a car doing a video pitch for, do you want to be in a poly relationship with me and my man? And she was like this disgusting, tattooed up thing. And her man's sitting in the passenger seat beside while she's driving and recording this message on a phone where she's pitching, hey, you want to come be in a poly relationship? And kept saying poly over and over again. And I'm typing in chat, please stop it. It's horrible. I mean, Jack, imagine if your name took on some horrifying LGBTQ plus meaning. Bunch of freaks.
My name is Jack. Really?
Well, what's
Boy,
the
really
worst?
good
Self
point.
pleasuring? What's so bad about that?
Hand jobs, masturbation,
Backing
you know,
off.
Yeah, I get it.
jacking
But I
me
said, what's the
off.
worst that could happen? Self pleasuring, big deal.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to give the internet ideas.
Oh, jilling off, you know.
Well, there it is. Look, go watch Spider-Man's Amazing Friends. Ignore Disney's stupid dumbass warnings. It's a fantastic fucking show. Good times. And we need more Firestar.
Starfire's still better.
No. Firestar
Yeah.
is best Starfire.
No.
Yes. That text still runs at the beginning of every comic book curation, and it's going to stay there.
I know it runs there, but it doesn't make it more right.
You know what's funny? They did a gay Iceman one-off written by Cena Grace that had Firestar and Spider-Man in it, and they run into Iceman, and they make reference to him being gay, like just to kind of make it canonical within the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends universe. And it's like, you think Angelica would have been, you know, Bobby, you sure the fuck hit on me a whole hell of a lot for years for a man who was gay that whole time. I mean, like, there's being in the closet, and then there's keeping up an act, like on a superheroic level, man. Shit. Anyway, it's about that time. Pitch time. And my throat's really fucking sore. Bringing on the coof here. Do I have my comic right? Yes, I do. Are you gentlemen ready? You ready to go?
I'm ready when you are.
All right, Jack, why don't you go ahead? How do I do this again? It's been so long. All right, so we bigonate the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Turn off the screen share. Go on with the unprofessionalism. That one. Hey, yeah, it worked. No, wait a minute. No. Wait, no, I guess that's as good as it gets. There you go, Jack. Shoot.
All right. I am pitching Crow of the Bear Clan. Issue 1. This is from Blackthorn Publishing from 1986. And as you can see here, he's got a sweet little mustache. This is about Crow. That's this guy. He gets himself a little drinky on the side of the Forbidden Valley. And by the time he gets back to the village, it's being attacked by Sorens. That's these guys. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds stupid. But it's a 6-part series, and look at that fucking moon. That's awesome looking.
It is.
The art is shockingly really good, and there's an elevator. That's what they're waiting at. They're waiting at the elevator to the evil tower. It's this weird sort of D&D adventure with this bear that's literally from a bear clan, and they're fighting lizard people, and he gets captured. It's a 6-part series about him fighting these lizard men. It's a lot of stupid fun. I had no business enjoying this as much as I did, but I was looking at some old books a little while back, and I came across this, and I was like, I have got to tell the guys about this because I had a blast reading it. There's this great shot of a castle that I'm not going to show you, but it's a really cool 2-page spread. This is 80s action, the way comics should be written, and you can find this for like $1 or $2 online. So it's like Conan the Barbarian with bears and lizard men. So they actually are fighting the reptilians in this. There are other anthropomorphic animals. There's a badger and a fox, and the fox is going to help him escape after issue 1. But yeah, this is first issue is all about him getting captured and taken to this evil serpent tower. It's this big like Castle Grayskull looking thing. Really cool shot. But I love this image here. I thought this was awesome.
Whose head is that he has?
It's one of the bear people. Because the Sorens invaded and killed a bunch of people. And they only took one hostage, and that was Crow. That's all they could get. Everybody else either fled or managed to fight off the Sorens. So the cover doesn't do the interior art justice at all.
Yeah, it
It's
doesn't. They tried to colorize the exterior, and they did not do a very good job. The interior art being black and white is actually really good.
yeah, the shading and hatching is really, really good, and it really makes the most of the black and white on this. And I've seen better. I've seen a lot worse though.
Oh,
So I wanted to throw this one out there because I've actually been sitting on it for a couple weeks because it's like, well, I don't really know if I want to tell them about it today or whatever. But man, the 80s had some great lost classics, and this is one of them that was just one of the fun ones that went under the radar because $1.50 at the time was more than double the cover price for comics.
Yeah.
So it's really underserved company. Blackthorn did a lot of cool stuff back then, but it's one worth tracking down if you get a chance. So I'm going to recommend it, and that's my pitch today.
Nice. Far says that it looks like some furry shit. I mean, one, that's evidence she's been online too long, and two, evidence that furries have gone just way too far. Can't have anything anthropomorphized anymore without.
Yeah,
God damn it.
There was a big anthropomorphic craze in the 80s thanks to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Sure.
And a lot of people forget that. And that this was one of those clone spawns. But the anthropomorphic craze was really kind of the start of the furry movement in comics. So I get why she would think that, but this is actually a little bit before furries became a real big thing.
I should actually send you some pictures of my complete run of black belt radioactive hamsters.
Oh yeah, I've got a couple issues of that floating around.
And I only have a few of preteen dirty gene kung fu kangaroos.
Oh yeah.
I was really into TMNT like back in the I love that black and white shit. Like Usagi Yojimbo is like the last man standing from the time. You know what I mean? And it's a great.
Did you ever read Samurai Penguin?
No.
I think you would enjoy that one.
Yeah, remind me about that after the show. I want to look that up.
Okay.
I'll forget. But Samurai Penguin, okay, you have my interest.
This is relevant to my.
Yes. Say, look, of all potato. Yeah, well, Polly would know about that because he's furry. It's just an otter avatar. See what I mean? Furries have gone so far online. Those degenerates have invaded so much creative space. Anyone sees an anthropomorphized animal and they immediately think of yiffing. These people are terrible. They need to be pushed back upon.
Well, and I think a lot of people, myself included, really didn't read a lot of the anthropomorphic stuff because it got associated with furries. And now there was furry stuff out there. I mean, the 80s was kind of the beginning of that movement. But
speaking of which, by the way, guys, I can turn on my camera. I got my shirt today. It arrived. This is my Flash Gets furry apocalypse shirt. There's got the Black Templar here with Crusade across his chest, and the furry that's looking up at him like he's going to die in a few seconds, which he probably is, but yes.
All right, there it is. Are you ready to go with your pitch quiz?
Oh, yes, I am. Okay, so written by Jeff Katz. Sorry, a story by Jeff Katz. Written by James Anthony Corrick. Art by Jason Craig. My pitch is. Oh wait, hold on. Hit button. Pitch. No, come on. Sorry, hold on.
My pitch is dramatic pause.
Options.
So what are you doing tomorrow, Jack?
Zoom.
Oh, same old, same old.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Why did
you
do this?
Oh, hanging out. I got a dentist appointment. And then tomorrow night, the weekend of Twilight begins.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I bet you're looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah. So, Far and Weebo Jones and myself are going to be watching all 5 Twilight movies consecutively in a row.
Why would you torture those girls like that?
There we go. Finally.
It was I wanted to watch Christmas movies because I'm a very seasonal guy. I love Christmas in a big way. And I suggested Christmas movies, and Far was like, no, it's Twilight or nothing. And then we thought we got her away from the idea, but then she kept pushing it and got a hold of Weibo on the side, and here we are. We're going to end up watching all 5 Twilight movies.
My pitch is Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
What?
That was going to be my pitch in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. This is pretty much the story. It picks up immediately after. No, they said it's like 5 months after Freddy versus Jason. 5 years after the events of Freddy versus Jason, where the 2 survivors, Will and oh god, I can't remember her name. But yeah, they go back to Camp Crystal Lake and run into Jason Voorhees, who then proceeds to murder both of them. And it kind of sets up the interlude where Jason is back and the head of Freddy Krueger is talking to him, getting him to go out and kill again. And the very beginning of it is Jason looking at Ash walking into S-Mart from the side of the road. So overall, it's exactly what you expect this sort of comic to be, and it doesn't disappoint. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. It's from Wildstorm too, so.
You know, I've never seen any of them, Ash. I've never seen it.
Never seen Evil Dead or Army of Darkness?
No, neither of them.
That's a movie night for us, Polly.
Yeah, that makes me sad you haven't seen that.
Do you know those movies that are so discussed that and talked about and referenced and clipped, like people showing clips of them in different things, that you've seen 80% of the movie by osmosis without ever having actually watched it?
That's me and all of the rest of the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah, okay. I could see that. Like that's how I feel about Army of Darkness, where it's just like, you know, it's like Shaun of the Dead. I've never seen it, but I kind of have.
Oh my god! Come on, Polly.
Yeah, that movie sucks.
No, Shaun of the Dead's great.
Oh, that sucks.
It was a good...
All right, hold on. Let me drag you guys back over here so you can see what I'm pitching. Oops.
That's never a good thing to say. Whoops.
The 2 things you never want your show host or surgeon to say.
Yeah, very true.
What the hell just happened?
I mean, I may have left a scalpel in there as a goof.
Okay, fuck. My computer's being all janky. There.
That happened to a buddy of mine that had his appendix removed in Egypt. They left some cotton wads in his wound.
Oh no.
Really? They left sponges in?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was bad.
Does this work again?
Good way to get an infection.
Yeah, that's what he got. They had to fly him to Israel. The Israelis flew him for free too.
Oh.
All right. My pitch is James Bond, Reflections of Death.
Badass title.
Yeah. This came out in September. I was unaware that it came out. Great cover, by the way. It's
oh yeah.
that's classic Bond right there, man. And some like
Oh, yeah.
classic Ian Fleming Bond, not some movie Bond, if you know what I mean. Plenty of the good grimdark. It's an interesting take, the way that they did it, the way that they play it out. It's from Dynamite, as you just saw. I really got to go get a drink because my throat is absolutely killing me. A whole bunch of different writers and artists writing the various chapters throughout it, going up to 5. It's all well done, but different styles and approaches. What ends up happening is Moneypenny is captured, kidnapped, and they force her to talk. And a lot of what her kidnappers want to know is about MI6 00 operations. So she ends up telling a lot of stories from James Bond's past, stories that are secret missions that nobody knows anything else about, but she, as Moneypenny, knows all about them. And so that's kind of the device upon which all of the chapters are hung. There's this overarching story of Moneypenny being captured, and then she tells all of these flashback stories to what Bond got into in his various exploits. But Moneypenny isn't an idiot. She's a smart lady, so she's playing an unreliable narrator. Some of it's true, some of it's not, and you're never sure how much of it is real or not. And it's actually a really well written story. And if you're into some just classic Bond spy shit, oh yeah, man, it really works. It's definitely worth your money. I grabbed a physical copy of it. Yeah, I admit it. I bought it because of the cover. But whatever, man, it turned out being awesome anyway, so it was a total win.
Badass cover.
Yeah, awesome cover. See, that's the thing, man. I've maintained that comic books are one of those things that you should, especially that medium is all about it being art. You should be able to judge a book by its cover if it's a comic book.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And with a cover like that, it's got like that 50s noir look that like every sleazy paperback had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd totally buy this.
Yeah. And it is straight up a good story. Definitely worth your time or money.
I appreciate the fact that it's a series of vignette short stories.
Yeah. And I have always been a fan of the unreliable narrator style, motif, whatever you want to call it, writing mechanic. And it's the reason I like Bret Easton Ellis's writing. One of the reasons I like his writing so much, because he's always making use of unreliable narrators, because it tells you more about what does the person want you to know and want you to think. And if the writer is doing their job very well, what they do and don't tell you tells you more about them than it tells you about the story they're trying to relate, if you know what I mean. What they conceal and reveal, and it's in this, you can tell because she's filling up her captors with what they want to hear, but making it sound realistic enough while not compromising British national security. It's cool. It's definitely worth a read.
That one's definitely going in my look up later bit.
Yeah, I'm glad they got a good Bond book out of Dynamite because some of their stuff was garbage.
No, that was well said, Jack. I'm glad they got it. You're not wrong. Some of their stuff was crap, but yeah, they managed to get a good one under the Dynamite moniker. So good for them. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, episode 99 in a bit. So we are mere steps, if not a trip and fall away from episode 100. My God. In the meantime, I'd like to thank everybody for showing up. Even though we haven't been around for a long time, it was really super cool to have everybody come back in. I'd like to thank everybody for everyone that donated. Very, very generous and greatly appreciated. I always forget to remind people to like and comment. I love interacting with the audience, and comments really, really do help in terms of the algorithm. A lot of people don't really push that enough, realize that enough, just how much interacting with people also the algorithm, and plus I just like talking with the audience in general. So by all means, if you're listening in the future and you made it all this way, please leave a comment. And I'd like to thank Jack and Quiz for being here. Yay! Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Yeah, thanks for the donations, and go read some comic books.
Yeah.
All right, even though Quiz thinks it's bad form to wish people a Merry Christmas, it is the Christmas tide season, so I hope you have a Merry Christmas tide.
Not Christmas yet.
Well, not yet, but it is the Christmas tide season.
A humbug.
Have a good night, everybody.